Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she is the founder of Model Prep. She's been a professional model her entire adult career, and she had an incredible loss, and she wants to share that with us. Her pain into purpose, next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, when you look at professional models on TV or in the magazines, it's easy to assign a narrative to them. Oh, they were born beautiful. They were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They've never had adversity. My next guest is going to share a very painful moment in her life with us because she's turning her pain into purpose. Amber Griffin, she's the founder of Model Prep. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks, Jeff, for having me.
Well, a little background. We've known each other for, it seems like at least a decade, and we've worked together professionally. I've helped get you out on the media. And then I think, over COVID, we kind of lost track. And you reached out to me and you said, Jeff, I have a story, but it's not the story that you're expecting. So why don't you share a little bit?
Well, this all happened this year and was very unfortunate. However, it's my testimony, and hopefully it could help someone. Back in May of this year, my husband and I decided to transfer one of our embryos, which we were very excited about. We've done 2 rounds of IVF, and so it's only a matter of time that we transfer. So I decided we're going to do it, and we both thought it was great. We ended up transferring within 2 weeks of that, I got pregnant. I was so excited. And as I'm talking about it, I'm still very, it still brings me so much joy. And we found out we were pregnant, and just doing the first I'd never been pregnant before. So doing the first trimester, you're going through all the nausea and the tiredness and all of that. And then the second trimester, I'm like, when can I tell people? Like, I'm so excited to tell people. And so I did this beautiful video with one of my videographers who've been with me for many years, and she did a beautiful video for my husband and I, and then we ended up putting it out on social media. And my husband and I went to New York Fashion Week, and then we came back because before we went to the doctor and just for a regular checkup. And then when we came back, we were told that it did not survive. So, yeah.
Tell me how they broke the news to you, and were you in shock?
Yeah, it was like I couldn't stop shaking. I was sitting there, and I'm so thankful my husband was in the room because I was just sitting there shaking the whole time, and I could not get questions out. I couldn't ask anything. I was just shaking, and like I said, thank goodness my husband was there. He asked all the right questions, and we ended up getting all the answers that we needed. And it was very traumatizing, to say the least. I didn't want him to leave because we have homes in Oklahoma, and he goes back and forth where our business is. And so I was like, I don't want you to leave. I wanted to be glued to his hip. I just didn't want him to be anywhere but with me. And so after that, I figured that I started asking God, why? Why did this happen? Why me? I remember being on the floor with one of the outfits that I bought. His name was, we were going to name, I don't want to say it. I feel so like it's so, kind of sad. But anyway, I had one of my son's outfits that I bought him, and I was on the floor in my dressing room, just laying on the floor, crying and asking God, why me? Why? And then I'm very tough. So I picked myself up and I wiped my tears and I was like, okay. But I'm not saying I didn't have bad days. I had horrible days.
Yes.
And I ended up just getting through it by the grace of God. It was very, very difficult.
Amber, you're going to make me cry. We've got her Instagram page, and we're just going to scroll down it. So you have a sense of when Amber shares something, she shares something. She has a lot of followers. And so, on this Instagram page, you can see that there's a lot of glamorous moments of you. But just because people think you have this picture-perfect life doesn't mean that you haven't suffered enormous pain.
Right.
Tell me about the bonding that you had with your son.
It was very, I don't know, I don't believe, and this is no offense to my husband, I love him dearly, he was there as best as he could, but I don't believe that men really understand that bond when it's with a child that you're carrying, because it's a close-knit bond. You bond with that child the moment you hear that you're pregnant, and you want to do everything to protect that child. And anyway, I Googled all the foods that I should eat every time that before I even put them in my mouth. I would Google, can I have apples today? Like, it was so crazy. So I just really had a special moment with him. And, I just know that God had a purpose for that to happen. And I don't look at that as a bad thing.
Did you announce on social media that you had lost your pregnancy?
I did. And that was the hardest thing for me because I had already dealt with the loss in September, but I posted about it in October. And it was a lot. It was overwhelming. The calls and I turned off the comments. And so they were instant messaging me and texting me. And listen, I am so grateful. I am so beyond grateful for the love that they showed me. You don't really know how people feel about you until things like this happen, I guess. I don't know. It's just, I started seeing all these beautiful stars and it was such a blessing, but I wasn't prepared for it and I didn't know how to handle it. And so I just found myself feeling a little bit uncomfortable with it in a way.
Sure.
Because I was like, well, I'm always strong and I always want to be strong and everybody's feeling sorry for me and I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I want them to understand that I'm strong and you know what? It's okay for people to love on you and hug you and have that sincere care for you in that moment.
And be vulnerable. And I think just based on the comments you got, you really struck a nerve with the people who know and love you.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to help so many women going forward who have also dealt with a loss like this. So talk to me about why you wanted to go so public and come on my show.
Well, because I have a lot of my, I call them friends, followers. They're so sweet and they always check on me and they are always there asking me questions. How am I? I'm praying for you. And I love that. It means so much to me. However, I just wanted them to know what I went through in that moment and how it felt and that, listen, I know that I post all these photos online and I do all that, but guess what? I'm human just like you. And I love hearing their stories. They all sent me moments of their stories of what they went through with fertility. And those stories mean a lot to me. So I wanted to go out publicly just so that they could understand that it happened. I'm moving on from it. But I really love that you care that much about me to share your story with me and that you sent your love to me as well.
Well, Amber, I remember when we first met, we were toying around with a phrase like you're a model, but you really want to be a role model. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I think you are absolutely living that out right now. In the final minute or so, look into that camera on the left and talk to the woman who's watching this, who's hurting.
oh God, I'm crying. Well, I just want you all to know that I was there, and it's hard, and you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. But you got to get up and you have to put one foot in front of the other. It's only about what you do in this day. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Worry about today. And get up and do something. Go to the gym. Go to yoga. Get your hair done. Get your nails done. Put on a beautiful outfit. But stay focused on the present moment. You got this. And I know it's hard sometimes, but I know you can do it.
Wow, so beautiful. We got to wrap this up so both of us are not in tears. You're beautiful inside and out. We're going to end with her website, which is modelprep.com. The great Amber Griffin. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.